Well, hello, sisters and brothers of the Machinists Union and our allies in the labor movement. This is your weekly 141 report, and I'm your host, Dave Lehigh, a communications representative for District Lodge 141. Our report topic this week looks into the topic of retirement. I'll be speaking to several guests in San Diego, California, Orlando, Florida, and Chicago, Illinois. We'll be hearing about the recent retirement celebration of members at Local 2765. And then we'll have a discussion about retirement info on our website. And finally, talk to the president of the Retirees Club of Chicago's Local Lodge 1487. All of this and more as our 141 report starts now. Welcome back, Brother Paul, to the 141 report. Thanks for coming on to fill our viewers in about your recent local celebration in San Diego. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, great, Dave. Always great to see you. Thanks for having me today.
It's great to have you back on, my friend. Brother Paul, before we get started, just brief our viewers with a quick introduction of yourself and your background.
Sure. My name is Paul Platt. I am the president of Local Lodge 2765 here in beautiful sunny San Diego, and have been in the union now for almost 20 years.
All right. Well, Paul, can you tell us exactly what took place this past Tuesday at your local lodge?
Sure. We, due to COVID restrictions the last year and a half, as you are well aware, I'm sure the members are well aware, many people took early outs, and we had absolutely nothing for them. Many of the members just took their retirement and just kind of fell off the face of the planet. So at 2765, we reached out to those that we could and had a retirement party at our local lodge. We conducted our normal business, and then after that had a nice retirement party for them, for all the retirees that could attend.
Man, that's a great facility you guys have. Just about how many members do you know of that retired? I mean, you got a lot of different carriers in San Diego. How many people are you talking about?
Yeah, well, we're amalgamated. So there's United upstairs, downstairs, American downstairs, Southwest upstairs, Alaska upstairs, and then Hawaiian. So altogether right now, we're currently at about 400 members, and we had approximately, I don't have an exact number because people would come and go, but yeah. I would think we had a good, probably 45 to 60 retirees that showed up.
That's great. That's really nice. So how did you go about honoring all these people that you had coming in?
Well, again, we wanted to do something for them, since a lot of the members, they just exited the company and got nothing. So we were able to, our local, we purchased retirement watches, retiree watches for male and female. And then we also were able to present some members with their different levels of service. The American has a pin that they give for 20, 30, 40, 50 years employees, as well as a nice folder, with the crystals in it. Yeah.
Okay. Did you guys do a luncheon, or did you guys serve food and that sort of thing?
So yeah, we hired a taco vendor that was one other member had used them for a party once. And yeah, we had literally a Taco Tuesday, which is popular here in San Diego, after for the retirees. So yeah, it was nice.
Yeah. That sounds like a really nice event. I mean, it's always good to to honor our retirees. I'm glad you guys were able to do that, and I really appreciate your update, Paul, on telling us what you're one local out of hundreds and hundreds of locals around the country that have people retiring, I'm sure, with this pandemic that's going on. But it's great that you were able to do that and share some of the things that happened at your local. I'm really looking towards seeing you at the Grievance Committee conference next month. So I hope that you'll be attending that. And now we move on to part 2 of our 3-part segment on this week's 141 report. We travel now to Orlando, Florida, to have a discussion with District Lodge 141's Vice President at Large, John Staton. Please welcome John to the 141 report. Welcome, Brother John. How you doing?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me on, Dave.
It's great to see you. John, please tell the viewers about yourself. When did you start in the airline industry? What city did you start in? And why did you get involved in the union?
Well, I started my career in July of '89 in Denver, Colorado. My dad worked for United Airlines as well, out of Atlanta. And when they had the furloughs, he transferred to Colorado. So after I got out of the Marine Corps, me and my wife decided to come up and start my career with United Airlines. I've been with them total time, probably about 30 years. I left the company in around 91 for a couple of months, then came back on, and I've been there ever since. I've worked in Denver my entire career. In 2019, I decided to transfer to Orlando, Florida. Okay. But I've worked my way up from, I believe I was a shop steward when I was on probation. Worked my way from shop steward to assistant ramp committee man, to ramp committee man, to grievance committee chairman. While I was in Denver, I became a trustee with District Lodge 141, and then was made VP at large with District Lodge 141. So that's my current position.
John, when did you become a VP at large? What year? When did that happen? That was just recently, right?
That was maybe about a year.
Okay. All right, great. So John, the reason why I have you on, our topic today is retirement. And I see that 141 AGC Mike Siscon is listed along with you as retirement contacts for questions or information, correct?
Yes, absolutely. We have a thing on there where employees that are getting close to it can sit there and send an email to us, and like it goes to like myself and Mike Siscon, we get the emails, and we trying to kind of coordinate so we don't step on each other's toes and decide, okay, well, I'll answer this one for you, or he's already done it. But we go on that website and respond to the employee, try to answer all their questions, guide them, because there's a lot of information we have on the district website where you can go to. I mean, we have, let's see, I've got a couple of them wrote down here. Just give me a second. We have like contacts with like Alliant Credit Union for United members. You have American Airlines, federal credit unions. There's a lot to deal with when you're planning your retirement. You have to deal with your 401k fidelity. You got to figure out what you're going to do with that. You need to get with a planner. We guide you to those people and those contacts and try to answer your questions to get you set up for success for your retirement.
Okay. Now, like Social Security, right? It would be advisable for our members to plan in advance. You know, when you go to retire, you just don't get Social Security right away. You know, you got to give some time, right?
Right. So what you really need to do with Social Security is 3 months before you want to draw it, or technically the way it works, if you're going to wait till 65, 3 months before you turn 65, you need to have a sit-down meeting with Social Security. Social Security can then talk to you about your Social Security and Medicare. Okay. You go see Medicare, they can't talk to you about Social Security. So if you're someone that's going to draw your Social Security pre-65, give yourself 3 to 4 months to sit down with those meetings, set it up, start applying for that. No different than your pensions. Your pensions that you're going to apply for, you want to start that process at least 6 months. You can't do it any more than 6 months, but at least 6 months. Because sometimes with the mass exiting, it takes some time to get the paperwork there, because it's 2 parts to every one of the pensions that you got to fill out.
Yeah, the main thing I think we have to stress to our members is take your time, plan it out, you know, and it's not a rush job. You know, this is a big decision that members make. And especially now with, you know, a lot of our members are deciding that, with all the stuff going on with the pandemic and whatnot, members are being given options. And some of them decided that, you know, it's time now that they want to make that decision and transition into retirement years. So some really great information. John, one more question before I let you go. How important would it be for coming retirees to be involved in the union, you know, after they retire?
Oh, I think it would be great. They have like most local lodges have like a retirement group, and a lot of them get together and have breakfast, but they can still stay involved in the local lodges. It's a neat thing, and help some of the younger members understand what they've been through and how we've gotten from where we've come to what we have now and the reasons we have it. The company
Yeah.
just didn't give that to you out of the kindness of your heart. We have
Right.
retirees paid the way for all of us. So the retirees, God bless them. I pray that they stay active.
Yeah. I mean, especially with everything that's going on in the country, and retirees always seem to be the ones that are on the chopping block for issues and stuff. It's always good that the retirees are able to have a voice, right, and stay unified and communicate their wishes and their needs up to the union. So, because the union wants to still represent them. So
Absolutely.
that was great, John. I appreciate you taking a few minutes to discuss this important information about retirement. So I appreciate you coming on.
Well, my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. You take care now, John. See you now. So since the question of being an active IAM retiree has been brought up, let's now move on to our next two guests as we bring on the president of the Retirees Club for Local Lodge 1487 in Chicago, Karen Carney, and recent United Airlines retiree, Dave Roderick. Welcome, sister and brother.
Thank you. How are you?
Very good. Very good. Dave, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having us, Dave.
So Karen, can you please tell our viewers about your previous airline career and when you retired and when you became the president of the Retirees Club?
Well, my hire date was February 20, 1968. A whopping $465 a month is what I earned.
Wow.
And I retired after 35 years on March 1st, 2003.
Okay.
I didn't immediately join the retiree club, but different people that I knew kept saying, oh, come on, check it out. So I did, and a couple of friends, and we started attending regularly. I was asked to take the presidency in 2015. So I'm in my 6th year. Nobody seems to want my job. So I just keep, either I'm doing something good or I'm not. I don't know. They just keep me there. But
well, it's good to have you on today's program. Brother Dave, many of our viewers know who you are, but could you briefly fill our viewers in on your background?
Yeah, I started with United in 1988 in the food service industry with the bakery. I was a baker before I came to United. And so from there, when they dissolved, started breaking off parts of the company, I ended up transferring into ramp service, where I ended up being a lead and continued until I recently retired due to some nice offers the company made during the COVID period. I continue to stay actively working with the union. So I'm still busy. I just recently realized I can't really say retired. I'm semi-retired. So I enjoy what I do, and I plan on continuing doing it.
It's great. So Sister Karen, the topic of today is about retirement, and being that you're the president of one of the largest retiree clubs in the nation, how many members are in the Chicago Local Retiree Club?
well, currently we've recruited some new members. So we have a total of 225 right now, of which our monthly meeting has anywhere from 60 to 125 that show up to meetings. We do have out of towners that like to stay in touch.
Yeah, it's, I've been to your retiree club meetings and they're really wonderful, really, really well run. So you had a retiree event yesterday. Can you tell me what happened and tell our viewers?
Well, it's our first planned outing because we weren't meeting for over a year and we just started back early this year. We went to Lake Geneva and did a luncheon cruise, which was a beautiful day. We hired a motor coach to take our group there. We had about 40 people on our cruise. They pointed out all the rich and famous and expensive buildings, and we had a lovely lunch and saw a little bit of color change. So it was really nice to start doing something a little extra. We like doing an occasional outside function, and our monthly meetings are parties in themselves. We do have a venue, and we do make a directory of our people, along with themes every month, whether it's a potluck, a bring your own, pizza day, Chinese day. We do quite a variety. So we're always busy eating too.
That's a good part of retirement. I like to eat myself.
Oh, yeah.
So why is being involved in a retiree club important for members?
Well, it helps you stay in touch. We, as airline people, we all had our own language. We have our own experiences and travel that many of us fondly remember were wonderful. And it was a career when I started out. Sad to say, not quite so much now, but it was a status symbol. People found out you worked for an airline and it was wow. So you like to stay in touch with people you work with. And even if it's the camaraderie once a month, at least everybody's still around and have.
Yeah. So can I ask you, what do you, when you have your meeting, your monthly meeting, do you have any topics of discussion that you bring up, or you just everybody kind of socially talks together? Do you ever have any guest speakers?
Well, we have in the past before I was president. It's very difficult to have guest speakers. The attention span of some of my retirees, they get distracted easily with their own conversations. I try to demand the first 15 minutes as mine, so I can tell them what's coming up and what's ahead and what needs to be done. And then it's a little bit more of an open forum, a little visiting. We have some raffles. And of course, Dave comes and runs his 50-50 raffle at our meetings. And then it's on to eating and visiting, and everybody, eventually they're out on 1:30, depending on what we're doing.
Yeah, it's a great way to get together. Dave, as our 141 legislative director and also being retired, when you're there, does the topic come up about potential attacks on our retirement, for the retirees, like Social Security? That always seems to be the hot topic on Capitol Hill, that somebody wants to slash benefits, Medicare, Medicaid, does that ever come up in conversation at all?
Yeah, well, you get members periodically that will raise questions concerning their pensions or things that the airline industry has done or taken away from the retirees. And if something is, well, everything is important, but if something is majorly important, I have said in the past, I've made some comments about getting out the vote, et cetera, letting people know where we stand. We do keep it nonpartisan, like the IAM does in general. Everything is nonpartisan. We allow people their thoughts and their own right to vote, but we try to make sure that they're aware of what they're voting for and why. So we do spread some of that information to the members, but like Karen said, a lot, the event, the Retirees Club is so great that so many of these people, they just like to come and speak with their friends.
Yeah. Well,
So
it's a great way to get together, and then if those discussions happen, you're already together. So if there's an important issue that needs to be brought up, you've got 200 people that are former IAM members that know the importance of going out and voting and getting involved if there's an issue that needs to be addressed by retirees.
Sorry, Dave. They tend to feed information off of each other a lot.
Yeah.
Meaning, if somebody has an issue with something, they'll say, "Oh, this person just went through this. Go talk to them." So it's a great way to gather and share information.
That's what's so great about the Retiree Club, staying in touch and working together still. Sister Karen, before we kind of finish up this report, I always like to give an opportunity for you to, have any closing thoughts about this topic of being a retiree in the Machinists Union?
Well, yes, it's wonderful. I recommend it to everybody. Wish I could have done it sooner. I think people enjoy being around each other. And of course, the COVID year of everything being shut down really isolated the seniors. You stayed in touch as best you could, but seeing people, socializing is very important as you get older. It's kind of like with little kids. We need the tenderness of touch too. So I look forward to it. Granted, some days you have your headaches because people get on a subject and beat it to death. And there's other times that it's just fun and gossip and keeping track of who might be ill to send a card to, or in a hospital, or somebody tells about one of their trips, So I would encourage everyone. There's a lot of agents newly retired, and I have to admit it's the bulk of the customer service people. I myself having been in res, but we try to keep them informed on what is happening.
Very good.
So it's still, I'm still trying to get more people in, because many of our retirees, some of them are up there in their 80s already.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much longer they'll be able to participate or drive or anything else. But we were successful with the 2 functions where I had the 25 people sign up, and we're looking for more, because I understand there were a couple hundred people that were IAM members that recently retired or
And that's happening.
turning into retiring. So I'd like to get a part of them.
Yeah, that the retirees are happening all across the United States. So a lot of stations, several different airlines, and it's great that you guys have that organization base in Chicago and have this retirees club in place. It's a wonderful thing. Not every local has them. I would encourage other locals out there, if they don't have a retirees club, to look into actually starting one.
And we certainly could not do it without the support of Local 1487. Those guys are wonderful to us. And with Dave as a new member, he started a Facebook page for us. So hopefully that'll get the word out more, but we couldn't do it without him. I don't know how we would be able to do it for a mere $10 a year.
Wow.
Dues, so
That's
yeah, we're
nothing.
very fortunate that we have the location we have.
Another thing is that we've been trying to do some research to find out when the local lodge 1487 retirees club did begin, and we think we're tracking it back to the early mid-60s. So it's been around for decades, but I know we are United people. Dave, you're an American Airlines person, but our local lodge of 1487 represents many carriers, past and present. We have current retiree members that came from Eastern Airline, TWA, Capital. We used to have Piedmont. I'm not sure if we still have any members from Piedmont, but they go on and on. Plus, we have there's the people that are invited to cover under our union are Southwest Airlines, British, Alaska Air. Like I mentioned, United America, Spirit. So anyone who's a member of 1487 has an opportunity once they're retired to come join the club.
Great information, Dave. Thank you very much. Well, this wraps up this week's 141 report. Be sure to stop by our IAM141.org website, as information is constantly being updated on our main information hub online. Thanks for tuning in and sharing our content. Thank you both for coming on today's show. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Everyone have a safe and healthy weekend. Bye for now.